Hey guys, off the Mike Sports Network here. We're going to talk some NCAA tournament. So obviously, the big story in college basketball is North Carolina getting into the NCAA tournament, despite only one quad one. When I talked about it on this channel, even though I cover the ACC now in a work capacity, and I admire North Carolina, the institution. I don't think they deserve to be one of the 68 teams that made this field. I think a lot of people agree with that. So the controversy around that, and the selection committee chair Bubba Cunningham, being the North Carolina athletic director, the optics of that not being great. They could say whatever they want about how the protocols were followed. Still, the selection committee chair getting a bonus on top of that, even if he was, put out of the room during any time that North Carolina was discussed. It's not good optics. But the ripple effects of what happened here is what I want to talk about. West Virginia was the most noteworthy omission because in terms of the bracket matrix or the metrics, in terms of all the bracketologies, which is like 111 people make their brackets, 111 of them had West Virginia in the field. Like nobody had West Virginia out. Everybody unanimously had West Virginia in except for the one that matters. So that was a glaring omission. There's been a lot of speculation as it was, Darian DeVries' son Tucker had been out for all of Big 12 play. They lost early in their conference tournament, but still West Virginia belonged in the field. Like if you looked at every one of the metrics and you looked at every one of the bracketology experts, they thought West Virginia was going to be in. So West Virginia got screwed. Let's just put it that way. You're a West Virginia fan and you're coming here. I know Pat McAfee's an alum. Like there's a lot of people. You have the right to feel screwed. What I'm not going to have, and I've seen this too many times in the modern America. And you know what? Listen, I don't like doing politics, but I have to make an example out of this. So the governor of West Virginia, Patrick Morrisey, on Monday holds a press conference and he asks his attorney general to investigate and work closely with the NCAA to ensure that the process is transparent and fair. He had a banner hanging from the podium that he was speaking at saying National Corrupt Athletic Association, making fun of the NCAA, calling it a miscarriage of justice and a robbery at the highest levels. Okay. So listen, at some point early in my life, I was thinking, oh, it's cool that my politicians can, talk about sports. Like, and I know Obama was a divisive figure, and I'm not trying to make this a reflection of that. Can we stop using sporting events or sporting controversies as political measures of trying to win over people? Because let's get one thing straight. Patrick Morrisey, this doesn't make you any more of a tough guy. How many West Virginia games did you watch this year? Okay? Like, yes, West Virginia got robbed, okay? It sucks. But you know what? Shit like that happens. Do I get mad and go to my government or go to anybody here in Los Angeles or something? Do I call up, Gavin Newsom and get mad if UCLA gets left out of the tournament? No. Do I call up the mayor, Karen Bass? No, I'm not doing that. Like, it's so dumb to see so many, and this is not the first time that this has happened, but this is a high profile thing because it's the NCAA tournament. A team got left out. I could probably think of a bunch of other examples, and you could maybe throw them in the comments at me if you want. But can we stop? And it's not even just specific to party. Can we stop doing this where we're trying to act like, the tough guy, putting a banner, National Corrupt. I don't even really want to read it off because I thought that was ridiculous. That was embarrassing. If you're going to absolutely throw the banners of that and mock an organization, I don't think the NCAA has done a great job, specifically when it comes to things like NIL, the transfer portal, and that sort of thing. And this process and the fact that North Carolina is in this field, I think it's a joke, but it's over. There's nothing that you're going to do to get your team, West Virginia, into the field. And let's be real here. Why do you care? Why do you care? There's no reason whatsoever for you, with everything that is going on in America and in West Virginia. I'm not up to date on my West Virginia politics. There are way more important things going on in the United States of America, in the state of West Virginia, than, West Virginia men's basketball not making the tournament. Okay? I thought they were wronged. But that doesn't mean that a politician needs to get involved and rescue this, because one, nothing's going to get done. It's never going to happen. It would be unprecedented if the NCAA reversed their decision and, magically just changed it. Also, you'd have to deal with North Carolina people, and that's a bigger university and institution that carries a bunch of weight. Like, the circumstances of how this was doled out and how this whole thing went down, I don't like it. But what I'm also not going to tolerate is having high-profile people who are in charge of, like, they're public officials using, like, this method, because let's call it what it is. This guy doesn't give a shit about West Virginia men's basketball. Like, are you kidding me? Like, you have way bigger things to worry about. Like, it's so ridiculous. It's so dumb. And I've seen this so many other times, but this is one of the most recent examples that I had to make an example about it on this channel. Like, this is so monumentally stupid. Patrick Morrisey, you should be fucking embarrassed that you did this. Because just to take out the public's time in your state to draw attention to you, to make yourself look like a tough guy so you can look better in the eyes of your voters, it's just, that's not why I was okay with, hey, my politician's talking about sports. It's like, say what you will about him and, like, listen, however you felt about an individual president. When Barack Obama, like, filled out a bracket every year when he was in office, I thought that was cool. It was harmless. It didn't mean anything. That's what presidents should be doing. They can loosely dip their toes into sports, but don't make it about yourself. That's what this was. That's why I had a huge problem with it. This was not about West Virginia. This was about this guy, the West Virginia governor, making it about himself, trying to make himself look good and capitalize off of something for a political gain. And that has happened way too often when it comes to sports and politics. I don't like it. I rarely make this a sporting discussion at all, but sometimes, with the society that we live in right now, I get sick and tired of just, seeing these people, like, use these situations and try to capitalize off, popular things in their state, when the reality is, A, they probably don't give a shit about it. B, like, you have no area of expertise on it. And, C, you've got better shit to worry about. Like, that's the issue here. So, man, like, I if you guys can't tell, I was very frustrated about this because, like I said, I completely agree. West Virginia got screwed. This is one of the most egregious snubs that I've seen in the NCAA tournament in a long time, because they were considered not even last four in. They were considered last four buys. They weren't going to, they were projected to be not in Dayton. They were projected to be in the field solidly, and they didn't make it. And North Carolina, with one quad one win, got in because of reputation. Let's call it what it is. But that doesn't mean that the politicians need to get involved. We don't need to make this about politics. Something happens. People get upset all the time in sports where their teams get screwed over, whether it's in a selection process, they get screwed over by a call or something like that. Like, I think Florida State, like, when they got left out, which was a big decision as well, I think the government got involved in that. I don't know if it was Ron DeSantis or somebody else, but like I said, my point is made here. Like, stop doing this, because let's be real. Like, you guys have bigger fish to fry. You have bigger issues to deal with than, dealing with, a university in your state, not making a tournament. Come on, grow up, everybody. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.